XRP has grown by 19.33% since the end of January 2024. And it's been a pretty interesting amount of growth. It's been kind of lagging behind some of the more kind of popular altcoins, but I think has so much more potential to give. Let's roll that intro and jump right into the technical analysis. Hi guys, welcome back to another XRP update. Today we are taking a look at the technical analysis on the 4-hour time frame. We are XRP paired up with USDT, 4-hour Binance chart for the analysis today. So as I said in the intro here, right, we're up 19.33% since the 31st of January. It's been a pretty interesting kind of growth, but I don't think it's over just yet. I still see this one potentially pushing up a little bit further. Now here you can see most recently we found support on that red line. That red line is the 50 EMA. That's the exponential moving average, currently coming in at 54.63 cent. The yellow line is the 50 simple moving average, coming in at 54.41, and the white line is our most important 200 EMA, exponential moving average, at 54.03 cent. Now, all of these moving averages, they're essentially just showing you what the price action has been in the past, right? Whether that's over 200 candles or over 50 candles. And when we have a 50 simple moving average here, that's the yellow line, crossing above the 200 exponential moving average, that is our white line, that is known as a golden cross. And so here for XRP, we have had a 4-hour golden cross, and we can see that we have got this significant surge to the upside occurring. Now, for the most part, I'm still expecting a bit more to the upside, and I'm looking at the 50 EMA, 50 SMA to still hold out as support. Okay, so what I'm looking for here is price to kind of move up a little bit, come back down, move up a little bit, come back down, move up a little bit, right? We're going to be looking for something like this. And what's going to happen during this moment is that we're going to follow the EMAs. The EMAs are going to be the support. That's going to be what the hope is, okay? Now, if we were to lose the EMAs, specifically the 200, then all of that is going to be for nothing. We're going to basically just break down from there, okay? So we have to remain above if we want to be bullish. If we go down lower than the 200 EMA, with 200 white line here, this EMA, this is a trend filter. Whilst we're above it, we're bullish, and when we're below it, we're bearish, right? So we want to be above these EMAs ideally. So the hope is that we basically have these kind of minor corrections. We find support on the EMAs as they go upwards. Okay, that's going to be the hope. Now, that's all looking really good if we zoom in. Now, if we zoom out of this for a second here, we also could potentially see this area of resistance right here. Okay, this area of resistance is a really, really interesting range. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this on. It's really broad to start with. It's right here. And if I roll this backwards, you can see that actually this is an area of a lot of support turned to resistance. Okay, this is basically between 58.74 cent and 62.4 cent. Okay, now this is an interesting kind of curvature to this as well, which makes me wonder whether or not we are going to be seeing a kind of cup and handle pattern. Okay, there's a few things I also want to kind of draw on before we get to that, which will be this potential breakout situation that we've seen right here. Okay, and so over our downward trend line here, you can see that this started out over here on the 9th of December. We tested it here. We kind of got close to it here, but not quite. And then over here, we kind of got close, but not actually landing on it until we got down into this low range here. Brief resistance, breakthrough, brief collapse back down to those EMAs, and now we're back above it. This is now basically telling us that we are finding this trend line to be basically invalid. No longer really our resistance. So it's quite an interesting one. Now, if I take that off and I bring in our arc here, I think we're going to be having the potential here for a cup and handle pattern. Okay, so this might not be perfectly straight, so we're not necessarily going to have a straight cup like this. I think we might be angling it a little bit, so it'll be very interesting to kind of see where this goes, but we'll kind of push up a little bit further here, and then I think what we'll do is we'll have a little handle that will come in, finding support probably on the 50 EMAs or the 200 EMA before we actually launch back to the upside. Okay, so the cup and handle pattern is a bullish pattern. It has some pretty decent kind of growth expectations that go with it, I'm going to go ahead and just draw in a rough estimate for you guys, approximately 66.69 cent based on this area here. Now, we could be a little bit more accurate with that, so I'm going to go ahead and remove those off and grab another trend line. If we take a trend line here and we draw it in, I'm trying to find like a place where we can see natural resistances, and I think, yeah, it's about there actually. Interestingly, we have two touch points here, almost a touch point there, touch point where we got our recent rejection down to our support. This could be where we actually have our cup, maybe finishing something to this effect, and then we'll bring in our handle down here. So it's going to be one of those. We'll keep a close eye on all of this to see how this kind of plays out, but it's possible that something to this effect would happen. Now, this is too much of a V shape here, so we'd have to come down lower and then move back up. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. For now, I think the best kind of approach here is to see whether or not we are going to be finding support on our 50 EMAs, as I do expect us to kind of retrace a little bit, or we break this trend line. So a couple of different options for us to kind of be thinking about. Okay, so if we're going to be trading this, how are we going to trade it? Well, I think for the first part, what we're going to do is we're going to wait for a retracement or a breakout. Okay, so if we break out of our trend line here, we can go long on the market, and we'll put the stop loss, you know, a pretty reasonable level below the 200 EMA, and we'll target out those higher ranges, and we'll be looking for a minimum of about 1.5 on the risk reward ratio approximately here. And because this is above our area of resistance, it's unlikely to be a really good profitable trade unless we go ahead and lower our stop loss. Okay, so we'll have to kind of see closer to the time where our EMAs are as to whether or not this breakout is one that we want to trade, but it's a possibility. Alternatively, if we do lose the 200 EMA, we can go short on this with a tight stop loss above the EMAs like that, and then target out the previous area of kind of resistance, which will be approximately 51 cent. That gives us a great risk reward ratio of about 3.39. And so, as I often say, guys, if I am to be leverage based trading, I'm going to be trading on BitGet. BitGet is my go-to platform when it comes to leverage-based trades. If you haven't yet signed up for BitGet, what are you waiting for? Check it out. The link for that is in the description down below. It is a really self-intuitive, easy-to-use platform, and guys, I don't think you'll be disappointed with it, so why not go ahead and check it out? They do have various different rewards and bonuses for signing up, but it does depend on the country and jurisdiction that you are in. All the terms and conditions are found on their website, and the link to BitGet can be found in the description down below. So why not check that out? Now, obviously, this is just my approach. I am no financial advisor. This is just how I look at the market and how I understand the data inside the charts. And for me, I'm going to be trading XRP here on a breakout or breakdown situation. It's too risky to kind of be thinking about just throwing money in a long right now or a short position right now. Looking at this, I want confirmation of either a breakdown or a confirmation of a breakout. Okay, now looking at it, I would say that there's a strong possibility of a breakout, and I think we've kind of seen that on this kind of bigger scale here, but we're still waiting for the confirmation of it. Okay, so for now, I think XRP is in a pretty tight and decent position, but we do see the resistances up here at 58.74 to 62.4, so I want to be aware that that's going to be an area of resistance. I'm not expecting us to through this on the first attempt. I would expect us to kind of get up there at some point and then kind of get rejected initially and then hopefully break out of there afterwards. And again, we'll be looking for long positions on that breakout, in my opinion, because the next kind of range is actually pretty significant and we get a good risk reward ratio. Okay, so looking at it, that's kind of where I'm looking. In terms of a breakdown support level, as I said, around 51 cent, we are going to be looking at the previous kind of areas of support, and yeah, it's going to be kind of right in here actually. I'm going to go ahead and draw this in right about here. So this is the area that I would be focusing in on, around 50.37 to 51.08. And again, so you can see that we're kind of just sandwiched between these two areas at the moment. And it would have been great to go long, as we saw the breaks on the 50 EMAs here, or even more so when we broke above the 200 EMA right here, right? We can see here that the 200 EMA was resistance, and then we've got that breakthrough. Okay, it's that breakthrough candle where where we closed above, that we would have gone long. And again, we probably would have targeted out this higher range, so we'd still be in this one with brief support here. But again, there was resistance, actually. Thinking about it, there was resistance right here, and so that would have been a great place to actually have closed out at that long, and that would have been a great position on a long position on the breakout candle, right? So here we would have put the stop loss just there, we would have put our profit right here, and yet would have played out beautifully with a 7.63% risk reward ratio. So where we are right now is actually in a pretty sweet position where we're just waiting for the confirmation of either breakout or breakdown for XRP, and then we can trade it accordingly. So guys, that is what I have for you on XRP today, but why don't you check out this video right here where I'm discussing what is going on with Cardano's ADA.